Hey guys, welcome to the Fusion 7 Healing Truth School Show. How you doing today? What's up, Mert? Okay, so we are on to our soul disclosures. It's karma and reincarnation of the soul today. Welcome in. What's up, Charlize? How are you today? Lovely to have you aboard. So as you may or may not know, what's up, Maria? We've been doing a whole bunch of soul disclosures. Our previous soul disclosure, hello my darling, empowerment, what's going on, hi to you. We were doing twin flames just the other day, right? And so today we are looking at karma and reincarnation soul disclosures. This is volume 9, and I've got a feeling that with this one we're actually going to conclude our soul disclosures voyage of the soul series. So we are about to go into each disclosure one at a time. So if you feel that this karma and reincarnation content is going to be of value to some of your friends, some of your followers, then don't forget to share it on. Welcome to you guys who are live streaming right now. Thank you for your hearts. And also welcome to those of you who are watching from my YouTube channel. Thanks for subscribing also. Here we go. Are you ready? Karma and Reincarnation Soul Disclosures, Volume 9, and we have disclosure number 1. The soul rarely reincarnates voluntarily. It is part of the reincarnation matrix. So that will contradict a lot of beliefs here. Hey, how you going, you guys? I think I missed a couple of names there. Which means that there is something in charge which is getting us to reincarnate. That doesn't always happen, but it does happen for the most part. Coach Bianca, thanks for coming in, my darling. How are you this afternoon? Yay! Okay, so we just said that the soul rarely reincarnates voluntarily or of full free will, as it is usually part of the reincarnation matrix. Thanks for sharing along, guys. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Rugba. Yes, so now we have disclosure number 2. This matrix is governed by a hierarchical beings. Okay, it's usually governed by hierarchical beings. It's sort of similar to working for a big company. Yeah, so they get the upper hand and they get to dictate where soul goes, where it comes, where it goes, if it's going to incarnate, if it's going to repeat, and all of that stuff. It's usually not something, it's not a decision that is solely belonging exclusively to the soul. Disclosure number 3. So the hierarchical beings who are governing this matrix have the upper hand that determine the journey of the soul in terms of reincarnation so as to serve their own agenda. Okay, so it is agenda driven. However, disclosure number 4 tells us that the soul will actually sign up for this experience, as it too has its own agenda, but also has tasks to figure out through this agreement or contracts that it has already agreed to. The problem is, though, Truth Crew, with these contracts is that there is the small print, and sometimes soul doesn't look at the small print. It may kind of know about it or perhaps not. However, it does sign up, and then it is contracted to do as it is shown, guided or told to do so. So that is our disclosure number 4, and we're on to disclosure number 5. The age and the stage of a soul's growth will actually determine the duration as well as the quantity of repetitions that it will undertake whilst it remains a part of the reincarnation matrix. Okay, so until it awakens, until it realizes what's going on and says, oh, you know what, I want out of this, okay, that will be a sign of maturity and will determine how many times it's going to repeat itself, and will then determine things like karmic energies and karmic reinforcements and so on and so forth. So disclosure number 6, thanks for the hearts, guys, do appreciate that. Because of the lack of or the absence of sovereignty of the soul, which means its complete and total freedom, in other words, during these cycles, karmic residue or deficits are then created. Okay, so the longer basically you stay stuck in a situation, then it means the more karmic deficits that you are going to create, which you will then need to liberate or free yourself from. Does that make sense so far? Yeah. Now, disclosure number 7 says, it is therefore the primary purpose through the soul voyage to exit these 4 cycles of reincarnations that are imposed upon the soul through the realization of its participation in the false reincarnation matrix, and to resolve all negative karma, debris and residue. Okay, so there is a whole higher purpose to this whole thing. Yeah, so you might become a part, we might for the most part be a part of the reincarnation matrix, but the more awakening that we embrace and the more work we do on the soul, it means the more we can free ourselves and shed karmic residue and deficits. Okay, of course there is positive karma too, and there's negatives, and obviously we are talking about, you know, that is of a negative nature, which basically means is that causes discomfort, suffering, difficult and such kind of frequencies, scenarios, situations, feelings, thoughts and energies. So this way the soul can then choose freely as a true sovereign being, if it wishes, to partake in the mortal realms or any other. So once you've worked on a bunch of that stuff, so then we reincarnate out and away from the agendas, yes, but that only happens whilst you are consciously resolving and dissolving and deconstructing all of your issues and realizing where you are at with in terms of the false matrix, yeah, of karma and reincarnation, and then and only then can you really free yourself from it, so that you can truly choose freely if you wish to reincarnate again, or if you wish to incarnate in realms of lives between lifetimes, which is also very possible. For example, I may resolve all of my stuff and I may say, okay, hey Nabil, I may say, for example, well, I want to come back to planet Earth because, I don't know, it requires help, or I can be of assistance in a certain way. Or you may say, no, I don't want to come back to this planet, perhaps go somewhere else where there are physical beings. Or you may go to a time and place where you may want to serve in some kind of way where you are not a mortal being. Yeah, so that could be considered as a life between a mortal life. But it may not be between. Perhaps you don't want to be mortal ever again. But the importance is that you can choose. And this, guys, is very relative to the law of correspondence, as above, so below, which means this is exactly applicable to your lifetimes, to our lifetimes in the here and the now. Yeah. The more free we become, the more work we do upon self, it means that we have more choice to choose. It means that we are not restricted by rules, by hierarchy, by obligations, by contracts, by deals, or any other kinds of enslavement. And in fact, in our next show, in our next Fusion 7 Healing Transmission, we are actually going to be talking about symptoms of the false matrix, and if you are actively a part of that, suffering from that, or if you are enslaved to that. So that's the direction we're going to be going in our next transmission. However, I do have about another 5 minutes if you have any questions or dilemmas or something that you would like to share in terms of karma and reincarnation. Hey buddies, how are you doing today? Thanks for coming in. My name's Helen Christodoulou and I am your intuitive coach and mentor and your transformation specialist. Thanks once again for all of the hearts, all of you guys who are watching live on Periscope TV, and all you guys that have subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you for that. So are there any questions or comments in regards to karma and reincarnation. I've got exactly 5 minutes left, and whilst that's going on, you can just enjoy the music in the background. So the weather is getting better out here. You can see that I'm scoping from outdoors. I'm wearing earphones because somebody is messing about in the garden. 11 Empowerment says, so during the physical incarnation, we can dissolve our contracts. Absolutely, yes, we can. And that is a major aspect of what it is that I actually do. I help people to release themselves from false contracts and from actually being recycled into reincarnation by some kind of hierarchical form or group of beings that are doing it so that you can serve their agenda and not be addressing your own as an individual sovereign being. Does that make sense? Yeah. So yeah, it's absolutely imperative, and it's even more important, I would say, to do that in the physical realms than it is in the ethereal realms, because it is in the physical realms where we can crystallize things and we can deconstruct things physically and non-physically also. So it is a time in the evolution of human consciousness where it is very, very important to do it in the here and the now and in the physical, because this is truly how we reclaim our empowerment and our sovereignty. Does that make sense? Yes? Blue hearts to match the pool. Lovely. Okay guys, thank you very much. We've got time for one more. Maria says, in what way can one dissolve a contract? Example. Well, darling, I'm not going to go into the hows now, but if you watch my following broadcast on Monday, then we're going to go into the hows in that broadcast. And then following that broadcast, I'm actually going to take you through a guided process where we can dissolve them together. How does that sound? Because it's the ways that we do it can be a little bit complex. It doesn't have to be, but complex doesn't necessarily mean complicated. It just means that I like to do things with quite specific detail. Yeah, so watch out for the next shows to come. We're going to be delving more into the false matrix, and thereafter we're going to do some guided processes to help to release us from that. Okay, so guys, I think we're coming to a wrap. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. May truth always be the primary force that is with you. Imastem biyi, it means we are primary source. I'm just a bit confused, but wants to know more. Thank you. You're welcome. And I suggest again that you do replay it so that you can really understand each of those points, each of those disclosures with greater clarity. Yeah, and that will actually assist you and prepare you for the next transmissions or shows to come. All right, so do stay tuned. If you're not following, thank you for doing that. Thank you for sharing it on. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you on Monday. Imaste biyi, it means we are primary source. Take care for now. Over and out. Ciao. You too, Coach Bianca. Bye, darling. Bye.